coordinators can assign other people as helpers. So he made me and our tech guy helpers so we can go look at what's uploaded and say, yeah, looks good.
Okay. So they gave the responsibility back to you. Yay! I was trying to, you know, create some sort of a teamwork environment. Yeah, we trust you, do it. Anybody else, you know, want to share an experience on how you did on validating your course codes for EOC testing? Okay. Excuse me. So we did do a few things when, what happened? I'm done. So we did do a few things to lessen the load on the 40th day resubmission. You know that pesky 727 error that says, hey, missing matching enrollment from fall to spring? I know! SRM, so picky, right? But you want clean data. So, remember all those courses that the assessment department had told me these are the courses that are mapped to EOCs? I gave those course codes. Anything that was the ELA 9, the ELA 10 or whatnot that had been deemed an EOC course code, I gave that to our programmers for the SRM, which is the application that you log into to submit your files, and they bypassed that rule for just those course codes. So let's say you have, for example, you found out that your 6th graders who are taking Algebra 1 might have been in that 52 course code, which is your elementaries, your K-8. You decided, your district test coordinators decided, nope, that needs to be an AZ02 because we want these kids to take that end of course assessment. So if on 40th day you submitted and you certified with 51 as the course code, and now it is an AZ02 course code, we should have, if our logic was right, we should have issued a warning instead of an error. Now, I was finding that there were a lot of, did anyone experience that success?
You're getting an error.
Okay, so sometimes there is an error that's coming up. And we did find a glitch, believe it or not. It was a bug that we discovered on, don't shoot the messenger, at about 2:30 on February 11th. I know. It wasn't brought up to our attention.
I told them on Tuesday.
I didn't get the word.
I was told I had to redo my 40th day submission.
I apologize for that. I was unaware of that, honest to goodness. But once I found out that there was a small bug. Now, there are some, I just want to be very clear and very fair to the logic that we built in. If other things changed, and not just the course code, such as the exit code or so on and so forth, then we did throw an error. It was only the course code. It should have been. I don't know. I found out yesterday that we have fixed the bug and it's all gone. Okay? So if you do had to do extra 40th day, I apologize. Honest to goodness. I did not know, or I would have got it taken care of for you. But that's what we did to, it should all be fixed now. And then here's that 100th day range that I was telling you about. So once again, are you all clear about this? You're okay to pull past your 100th day. Extend that 100th day. Use the data in your favor. Okay? Anything about these two items as it relates to you and your work? Terry?
We're moving to the end of the year then. If we change course codes that we need to change back, like for our AP English and our IB English, are we going to draw errors?
I'm glad you said that. So what I need to do with you guys is, if a couple of you want to call in to me, and because I work directly with the folks that do SRM, let's think about those scenarios. And what I'll do is I will use your real life experiences and what's happening and what you want to do to make sure that we capture it correctly. Because it's not a big deal to turn it off and turn it on, unless we find a bug. No, that's not funny. It's not, I'm sorry.
It has to be funny.
It has to be funny. What else are we gonna do, right?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else about these two items? All right. So working with student information in the TIDE, I don't know if this is going to, is any of the onus been put on you all to do this? No. Okay, but some of you might. So you did have questions when we first came up, or when I first came up?
Over here.
Oh, hi Susie.
All of it's been put on in our group. So we're working very closely with our curriculum folks and our district testing coordinator. But we will most likely be doing all of this information. So I really encourage you guys who have not yet spoken with your district test coordinator to do so, because you don't want this when they start testing, especially more computer-based schools that are testing. You don't want them to be frantically calling you the day of test saying, none of our students are in TIDE, what happened? So at least reach out to them and double check.
Yeah, I strongly encourage the collaboration between the two. Strongly. Yeah. So you had some questions. Yes?
I want to be sure I understand the connection between SACE and TIDE. Say I have a student who enters my school. I have a student who enters my school after February 25th or after the last time I've submitted a SACE. Before testing, I want to go to TIDE, I want to add the student. Does the record have to be in SACE first, or can I go to TIDE without the kid being in SACE?
I don't believe so. I don't think that SACE talks to TIDE.
But I will validate that for you. Can someone grab that item too, please?
SACE has to validate.
Does TIDE validate against SACE? I don't think it does, because it is an independent. We load information into TIDE, so I can't imagine that it is hooked into our SACE system. I would doubt it, but we'll confirm. We'll confirm. Good question.
I'm assuming though that the student has to have a SACE ID. So if the student's never been in the state before, you got the SACE ID.
So you would have to get at least him into SACE. Okay, that makes sense. Yep.
They said they're pulling the data from K-8 from SACE, 9 to 12 from...
But I don't think it's like a two-way street. I don't think that it goes back and validates like what an SRM would do. SRM goes and validates, is this what you're saying is in SACE? Well, we don't see that.
Lori, before you go on, I'm going to interrupt again. It's me. Aren't you happy I found this microphone?
I am. I am.
I'm really happy. I'm gonna let her leave her.
So I see people frantically trying to keep track of all these questions and answers, and we discussed with Linda here on the side that we're going to put an FAQ section for AZ Merit on our ASCUS website, so we can keep track of all this. So don't worry if you haven't received all of the answers, we'll make sure they're out there.
Well, I told the assessment person that I was working with, Irene Hunting, I said there's going to be a lot of questions that I might not be able to answer. And so she put me on, she said I will be available at 10:30ish to talk to you. And so maybe I can have answers before we leave today. Anything that I can't get an answer, we will answer for you. Okay? So I appreciate that FAQs. So working with student information, we started out with some questions on how do we do certain things. Within the TIDE system, you can retrieve student records, view and edit students, add students, move students between schools, and you can add, edit, and submit students through file uploads. So yes, I answered my own question, Kayla Dillon. Or I answered your own question. So let me just show you really quickly where you can go and you can find some of these resources in case you don't know yet. Okay, so can you hear me? All right. So here, technology resources. So this is what I did. I just went into AZ Merit portal. Actually, if you go on the web, let me just take you here real quick. Let me take you from beginning. So go to the home page, click on the AZ Merit banner. Oh, goodness. I'm so not a Mac user. How do I get back? I'm so sorry. Where's my internet? I don't know Mac. I'm so sorry. Can someone help me? Here's the portal. And you've got all kinds of information here. If you go into, I believe it's test coordinators. Test coordinator resources. User guides. And we'll get you this information too if you need. And here's the user guide here. Actually, I went through this. This is pretty informative, and it answers a lot of your questions on how will they do, what will they do, manuals, so on and so forth. This is more of the how-tos. But if I scroll down to section 6, working with student information. Oh, it didn't retain the hand thing. There it is. Apologize. Here is retrieve students. So you can have it, because I asked, I said what I think they might want to know is they want a visual of how what they're submitting shows up in the TIDE system. So you know where your data is going and what your district test coordinator might be seeing. So here's some examples in here of working. There's viewing the student details. Here's the fields in the view. So you can think automatically the data that you submit and where it comes from. Adding students, this was how, we've had lots of questions on how do they add students, so on and so forth, like this. But there's also a section down here below. There it is, adding or editing students through files uploads. So you would be able to, if they come to you and they want this data from you, then you guys can work together on making sure that some of this data is filled out and can upload. So there is the opportunity for that, for you guys to work together through file or a manual. So it's very helpful. Yep. How do I get back here? I am.
So on that screen that you're showing, I think an earlier question was the SACE validation. Maybe I'm not hearing that right, but I think what they were after was, what if I'm trying to manually put in a child, but Pendergast had already claimed them on their earlier 100-day report? Are you going to kick me out here, or are you going to allow me to be able to put it in because maybe they haven't unenrolled, right?
Great question, Al.
Okay. I think that's what somebody was trying to ask in a different way. So.
Good question.
Yes. Well, there is moving students. There is on there moving students between schools, but I don't know if it's a district. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a great question. We'll get that for you. How do I get back to the PowerPoint? I am done. But I just wanted to show you really quickly your success your success on STC 100th day. See, he doesn't know either.
Hey Lori, while we're waiting for that, I have one more question.
Lori, I don't want this. I don't want this. Can you get rid of that? I'm PC girl all the way. Yeah, can you put that there? And oh wait, we're not done yet. Okay, so 100th day STC status. I just wanted to let you know where you stand right now as a state. So 73% of you have certified 100th day file. So woo! Look at the person next to you, high five them. I bet you February 25th we have a lot more. And also, because your EOC testing is mostly in the high schools, right? We do have middle school students that are perfectly capable across the state of taking high school courses. But I thought I'd give you just a visual. 77% of the top 100 high schools by student population have certified 100th day as well. So that sure is a lot of your hard work that has paid off for your district test coordinators and a successful rollout of AZ Merit. You know, we're learning as we go together. And as Mark said, you know, we got awarded in November, and then here it is, what, February, spring. And this is where we are so far. So, okay. Oh! So thank you very much. I'm sorry I didn't have every single answer for you, but we will work to get you the more assessment content related questions to you. So have a beautiful rest of the day.